Hey guys, and welcome back to Twilight Princess. Now that we've got the Master Sword, maybe they'll let the wolf into the bar and we can get a drink, or, using our newfound powers, we can just transform back into the human and coexist peacefully.
Personally, I'm disappointed that despite the fact we got 3 magical artifacts and the Master Sword, and yet we weren't teleported to some sort of dark dimension or alternate world. What the fuck?
Yeah, it would have been amazing if Wolf Link had, like, pink bunny ears.
Dude, yes, I wish they had thrown in some kind of reference to the fact that Link has turned into other animals before this whole wolf situation.
Well, there's a little bunny rabbit sign on the postman's flag there. Is that like a reference to the bunny hood?
Yeah, exactly. All of the postmen that have existed in the Zelda franchise up to Spirit Tracks have either had some kind of reference of rabbits on them or have looked like rabbits.
That's probably a reference to the fable of the tortoise and the hare in general, I guess.
Or the legend of the magical hair bunny.
I guess. Alright, let's go see Talma. Apparently, she has a group of people that she wants us to meet.
I don't know why she had a letter delivered to us right outside of town. Maybe she could have walked outside, stood there, and beckoned us herself.
Yes, the correct term there is hailing someone, I believe.
Oh, well, excuse me for not knowing the proper term for that.
Don't worry, Agatha, we'll be back soon enough in like 20 parts.
We're gonna do it all in one part. You'll see. It'll be glorious.
I don't need stairs. Fuck 'em.
Oh, hey, would you look at that? The door is closed. You know, because now we actually have thumbs this time to open it.
Long live the thumb.
Oh. She's so sassy with Link. I love it. Isn't it kind of weird how her bar has, like, no customers right now? The Twilight is gone, and there's not a dying fish prince in the middle, yet there's no one here.
Yeah, you'd think a rotting Zora piece of royalty would put people off their brews, but I think it's the location of the bar more than anything. It's like down an alley, down a flight of stairs, tucked away.
It's one of those hole-in-the-walls, but everyone knows that hole-in-the-wall restaurants and bars are always the best. I like how even the NPCs have to tell Link, just talk to people, stop being silent all the time.
I love this guy. He reminds me of Bill Trinan for some reason.
Who?
You know, the guy who Reggie sent to Japan and we never saw him again?
Oh no.
Miyamoto's translator guy, basically. But no, this is Shad. He'll come into play later on when we have to do a lot of busy work. This is, the chick we mentioned in an earlier part. This is Ashe.
If you had told me to pick a female character from Twilight Princess that isn't Midna to throw in a Hyrule Warriors, she honestly would have been my first pick. And Agatha works and she's a great character. I'm not saying she shouldn't be in the game. It's just that her inclusion came right out of left field. And you can't even say she's a joke character, because there's not even a hint of irony in her moveset. She's just as good as all the other characters. So, yeah.
Who's this guy?
I'd like to think that they threw in that ellipses as a joke or reference to Link himself. That you have a silent protagonist now talking to a silent NPC.
And this, of course, is Russell, our surrogate dad from way back when.
Of course Russell can't recognize Link. I mean, the last time he saw him was before he even got his tunic.
Is that the Blade of Evil's Bane that I'm not supposed to know about? Looking snazzy.
Yes! Exactly! Nobody mentions this, not even the guy who claims to be a Hyrule historian. Nobody wants to bring up the Master Sword.
Can that be our official title for like anyone who's read the Hyrule Historia? A Hyrule historian?
Yes.
Go here. But, visit Golden Wolfie on your way out.
Thank you, Maps, for showing me everything.
I don't know why I doubled back to see this guy. I just like the dialogue, I guess.
'Cause it's the mailman?
I believe I will eat, yes, food today.
It's also kinda weird, 'cause he ran away from us to go deliver more mail, and instead we find him in a bar. It's like, something tells me you weren't actually going to deliver more mail.
Well, maybe he just finished his round super quickly and thought he'd reward himself with a bit of beef jerky and a brew.
At least he's not rewarding himself by making Link play a terrible minigame.
Uh-huh.
That minigame is impossible on the Japanese version, because you have to stop it exactly on the right frame, instead of in a 7-frame window that you get in the English version.
Now what's cool is in this area, and I think we'll see it in a second, Agatha is out looking for bugs.
And that was another thing I wanted to bring up with that whole motley crew that we met back there, is oh my god, named NPCs that are actually plot relevant. What is this in my Zelda? I don't even know.
Yeah, so, you know, it cribs a lot of stuff from previous games, but Twilight Princess is quite revolutionary.
And with some exception, named characters tend to be just Impa, or some girl, or a sage, and he usually goes, I'm gonna talk to you this one time, but as soon as I'm done with the next dungeon, I'm never gonna see you ever again. These guys, on the other hand, you know, we're gonna see them again. And that's crazy!
Speaking of NPCs that are awesome, this guy.
Does anyone else hear heavy breathing in the background?
You're not supposed to have lungs, mate. You're destroying my immersion.
Oh, come on, he doesn't even have a torso. I mean, look! In between his breastplate and the waist dash, there's nothing in the middle!
Brilliant, yes.
Yes, show me you can fight like Toon Link. This seems kind of weird that in two different timelines, and probably around the same time even, Wind Waker Link and Majora's Mask Link came up with the exact same counterattacks.
Well, do you buy into the whole parallel universes thing where like a lot of stuff is the same but with subtle differences?
I figure that's probably their point, but sometimes it's just silly fun to think about the games within the context of the timeline. But don't get too serious about it, because then you'll just end up hurting yourself. The timeline should only be used for fun things like making jokes and references. If your enjoyment of Zelda is based on the timeline, you are seriously a tool.
That being said, wouldn't mind a Majora's Mask too. I'm just saying.
The Helm Splitter. It's pretty much the other counterattack you could perform in Wind Waker by pressing the A button when it got all flashy and spiky. The other, of course, being the backslice. But, unlike Wind Waker Link, Twilight Princess Link can choose which attack to perform and can use both whenever he wants.
I just wish they designed enemies that you needed to use this on.
There are already enemy types in the game, some that we're going to be seeing real soon, that it would work perfectly with them having, you know, a weakness to the Helm Splitter but resistance to all your other sword attacks. Instead, you can just poke everything to death.
Nah, I've actually completely forgotten where we're going next, so this should be a surprise. Oh wait, no, Lake Hylia. Come on, Tom, keep up with the footage that you yourself recorded.
Come on, man, we looked at a map. How can you possibly doubt a map?
There was a big red dot/circle on it, Tom.
You even circled it with the cursor thingy.
Interesting thing to note, you can't warp within the presence of mortals, so go around the corner before you try that dirty shit.
Yeah, Link has to pull a Clark Kent, you know, you distract everyone by saying, look over there! And then you go and hide behind a bush, and then a wolf pops up, and then people are like, oh my god, where did Link go?
I just got some image of Link, like, pulling his shirt open, and then just a wolf pops out.
It's like a reverse fursuiter.
Oh my god. Don't need a reference to that, thank you very much.
If you use debug mode, you'll find that Midna has an unused text box where she says, you don't have any magic power, you know you can't turn into a beast without it. Revealing that at one point, having enough magic was a requirement in order to transform into Wolf Link.
Now, I can see why they got rid of that, because that just sounds like needless busy work to build up your magic Mew.
Yeah, could you imagine? It'd be like, oh shit, I need to be a wolf to even progress through the game. Let me go cut down a bunch of grass to get the magic needed to even transform.
I'm going for a bit of that in Fantasy Life, which is a RPG by level 5 for the 3DS, wherein you have to like go to your home base to talk to a character to progress the story, even though that character is travelling with you at all times.
Ew.
Yeah.
I still have no idea what this wolf dimension is supposed to be.
I can see the woods in the background, the cardboard cutout and the mountain in the background.
When I first got to this Howling Stone, I thought I would recognize the song right away. But then I heard it, and I had no clue. I was like, what the fuck kind of song was that? I don't remember that in Ocarina of Time. I had forgotten that the Howling Stones also have songs from Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. I had to look it up to find out that it was actually supposed to be the Goron's Lullaby. Which, no, I'm gonna have to disagree, game. The first two notes are the same, but that's no Goron's Lullaby.
It's a good job I'm immortal!
No, Golden Wolfie Link, why? There was so much to live for!
There's so much to teach for.
Also, I can't believe that despite the fact you and I are both fans of Spirit Tracks, neither of us has mentioned the similarities between the Howling Stones in this game and the Sound Stones in Spirit Tracks.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
Yep, they're pretty much exactly the same, except Howling Stones don't take off into space once you're done with them.
Now there's one more member of La Resistance that we have yet to meet. He's at the top of this tower here. He's kind of surveying the desert yonder.
If he's been on top of that tower this whole time, was he spying on us for, everything we were... Did he watch us play Fire's minigame?
No, Midna's like, you can't transform. Why? Because someone's watching you. I don't see anyone around here.
Ah, that would be a dick move. Someone clear on the other side of the map has a Hawkeye view of you? Fuck that shit.
Someone's watching you from space. Now that's just not fair.
Oh, that's even worse. I hope they nerf space vision in the next game.
Plenty of, concept art for this guy in Hyrule Historia.
Well, in the Japanese version, he has a bigger role in the story. I mean, he's supposed to be Princess Zelda's former tutor.
Stealth Triforce on his, buckle there.
They're like hidden Mickeys. You can find them fucking anywhere.
Can you find the Triforce kids?
And there goes Twilight Princess again, taking yet another dark turn. We find out that Hyrule not only has a lot of prisoners, but that the kingdom also implements capital punishment.
Well, let's be honest here, Ganondorf deserves it. If anyone deserves to die, it's him.
But how bad does the crime rate in Hyrule have to be that they had to establish a giant wasteland prison that houses a temporal portal directly to the underworld to control it?
They don't do things by halves in this version of Hyrule.
Let's just hope that the lawyers in Hyrule are really good at their jobs and everyone gets fair trials, because that's some cool and unusual punishment.
If anyone sees Link transformed, he's going to get accused and tried for witchcraft.
Ah, fuck. I didn't know Hyrule was full of Puritans.
The people of this Hyrule are pretty industrial. Next to Spirit Tracks, probably the most industrial Zelda game to date.
I don't know. The royalty seems pretty astute with magic, but then again, they could be keeping that as the royal family secret.
Them and the Sheikah. It's a secret art.
Yeah, and the Sheikah people are just as rare in this game as they are in any other Zelda game. Sure, we've seen the Sheikah eye all over the place like on Zelda's robes, but it's gonna be a while before we meet an actual Sheikah.
Sheik does not pop up at any time, although a lot of you will know this by now. For Brawl, they actually created a Twilight Princess design of Sheik to use in the game.
And it is my favorite design of Sheik.
It's pretty bitching. Next to the Hyrule Warriors one, it's my favorite.
We're just gonna ignore that bird. Fuck that parrot.
Yeah, that music kind of breaks the tone of Lake Hylia.
Seriously, game? You can't just talk about executing people and then immediately follow it up with a clown.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, I mean, I'm suffering from emotional whiplash over here, but I think I can manage. Are you saying that all we needed to progress through the game was a memo? Man, we could have forged that shit if we had known.
We could have forced him to fire us to the desert.
Just, use those hidden skills we've learned. I mean, that's their true purpose. We're not supposed to be using them on enemies. They're meant to be used on NPCs.
Fire is the final boss. How about that?
I believe it. Never trust a clown. Ever. At least this cutscene's slightly different this time around.
Well, just move the camera around. Completely different. I'm so glad I got to this place at sunset because it looks gorgeous.
Fucking Gerudo Desert. Come on, you guys should know this by now. If you were to ask me what was my favorite location in a particular Zelda game, chances are I'm just gonna go with whatever desert's in the game. I fucking love them.
We do have a couple of minutes left in this part, so if you want to wax philosophically, go for it.
I actually want to ask you something, though. So Midna's personality has definitely taken a drastic turn for the better. As you can see here, she's a lot less arrogant and demeaning towards Link and is in fact confiding in him information about herself and her race. This is all coincidentally happening right after she's fused with Princess Zelda. So, I have to ask the question. Did Midna's personality truly change, or is this Princess Zelda's personality within her affecting her behavior?
That's a good point, actually. I never considered that, but I think it was just the fact that Zelda's sacrifice showed her that her attitude was not getting the desired results, and so she changed naturally.
You can see in the cutscene that she does hold some resentment either towards Hyrule, or the Light Realm, or maybe even towards her ancestors that got banished. And that's probably why in the beginning, regardless of all the work Link did for her, Midna just couldn't get over the fact that he was still an inhabitant of the Light Realm, and that's why she was so inconsiderate of him. She does say it was the combined selfless acts of Zelda and Link that gave her her change of heart, that maybe both realms were worth saving. So I'm going to go with a little of column A, a little of column B. I just think that her change could have been a bit more gradual.
Still weirds me out that we never see those emblem shadow creatures in the game.
Those darn concept artists keeping all the good monster designs for themselves.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like fighting them. Obviously they were on the screen just there. I'm not making things up.
Twilight Princess confirmed for making N-Tom go insane. Get it? Link? Get it? It's like the original pun of his name, because Link was meant to be the link between future and past. Because, you know, the Triforce was supposed to be microchips.
No worries, Midna, I've got this. Right click, get link.
Yay, click send link.
Alright guys, that'll do it for now. Please join us next time when we journey through the Gerudo Desert. See you then.